I'm a panda, and you are not. We are friends. I think I'm probably a kumquat. I don't know. This is Anchored and Devoted. I'm Pastor Panda, and you're Pastor...
I'm Pastor Jer, and I wish I were like Pastor Hippo or something, but unfortunately I cannot be this day. Sadly.
It's okay. But for the people who are listening to it, they have no clue what we're talking about, so they'll have to go to YouTube and watch. I've got an avatar on of a panda that...
and it looks fantastic. Take it from a blind guy.
Exactly. I don't know why I'm doing this. You encouraged it, but anyway,
I did.
Talking about.
I think it's very worthwhile.
Anyway, that's not the focus for today. The focus.
Although maybe it should be.
You want to talk about pandas and avatars?
We could talk about avatars. That's generally what we're going to be talking about anyway, right? Because we're going to be talking about gratefulness, and just to throw that out there. And in talking about gratefulness, one of the things that immediately comes to mind is that what we are grateful for demonstrates what we're worshiping. Mm-hmm. And what we're worshiping, we try to make ourselves look like. Mm-hmm. Hence, avatar. Mm-hmm. You see that?
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I hear what you're putting down. I saw your son pop his head in there, so I think he's more an avatar too, if we're gonna say the things that matter most to us.
Yes, my son is the one galloping across the house right now. By the way, just for full disclosure, I'm not in my normal studio / bedroom.
Same here.
I'm in my parents' living room right now because my brother's in town.
Oh, and I'm in my living room.
There is no privacy here, which is fine, but there's also no keeping out the rest of life. So I'm not going to try. Not going to bother. It's not worth it.
You're going to hear a whole bunch of fun stuff in this episode that we should warn children about, that we're talking. We're grateful for. Family.
I just warned the listeners that you might hear my father come in and open the door and say, Jeremy, what are you doing? And start talking to me as if I don't have headphones, big chunky headphones on, and a microphone in my face talking into the microphone. You never know.
Oh, yeah. So,
anyway, gratitude. I'm grateful to be sitting here with you today. Could you kick us off? You brought gratitude up, and your initial thought here was gratitude in general, gratitude journal specifically. What did you want to talk about with that?
It is something that I think we forget often to take time to do. It is true in many cultures that, being thankful, having a thankful heart is how you start with prayer, but that's not the norm for most.
Most Western prayer starts with complaint.
Or need, one or the other, and it could be perceived need, but still, that is the expectation of God stepping in to fix whatever it is I want right now. And P.S. I love you. It's daily mind altering / changing to be able to take time to wrestle with the good things that God has given. It allows for a better understanding of your state in relationship to Him, as well as it offers a unique, because of the different things that you're going through, a unique opportunity to recognize even the opportunities in problems or challenges. So if I can, start with the general things I'm happy for, thankful for. And I don't even want to say happy for, I'm thankful for. I can start with some of the basics and then move to many of the deeper things as I go through the list. And I think, part of a good thing is taking time daily to reflect and to be thankful for the work that God's doing. Are you laughing at me because I'm still a panda?
I'm enjoying the fact that you're still a panda, and I'm wishing that I had more vision to watch you as a panda have a serious conversation about gratitude. It's one of the things I'm looking forward to in the future when I have vision to be able to fully enjoy this kind of interaction. But yes, that's what I was sitting here being grateful for all of this.
Gotcha.
So let me tell you this. Walking into the house here this afternoon, my two kids were in front of me, and one of my kids opened the door and was holding it open for one of my other kids. And the child for whom the door was being held open stopped and wouldn't move forward. Just stopped walking. I'm behind this child, and so now I have to stop because we're on a walking path. And now the child has stopped, and I'm stopped behind the child. And the child who's holding the door says, I'm holding the door for you, just go. And the child who has stopped continues in that stopped position. Like there's too much now lack of inertia to get this boat going again. And I realize that it's not because of anything except that the child who is stopped has somehow worked this around to be an affront to their person, their personhood or something.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to accept the kindness. They don't want to say thank you for the kindness. They would rather stand there causing a traffic jam than to receive graciously a kindness that was bestowed on them, because ostensibly there was some other burr under the saddle that made this child feel as if it was right that he or she should feel affronted, and is right that any kindness offered by somebody inferior to him or her in his or her perfection should be rejected as soiled and unworthy of the height of goodness of the person who was affronted. And so I, with my words, kicked that child in the rear and said, just say thank you and go through the door, please. And so when you said gratitude, that's the memory that was in my mind. I have a child here who literally has a door being held by someone else so that they can walk through unimpeded. And their response is, you don't deserve to have me to receive your gratitude. I'm that good. I'm that good. You don't deserve to have me take your gratitude. And I'm like, wow, such a picture of my own heart. So when you said gratitude, I said, yes, sir. Let's expose this, because at the end of my day,
mm-hmm.
a lack of gratitude stems from my own belief that I am God and that what I deserve is all glory and all thanksgiving and all praise. And if I don't get that, well, then there's nothing that I really do have to be grateful for. And it demonstrates, it illustrates that we have truly missed the kindness of a gracious Heavenly Father. And because of that, it's a warning sign, right? It's like a warning light that says, hey, my dashboard just dinged at me. Why did it ding at me? I better look at and see what these indicators say, because it could be that it's saying there's 50 miles to go until empty. It could be saying your engine is about to overheat, and if you don't do something about it in the next 30 seconds, you're going to be putting a new engine in your car. I better pay attention to these dings and say, what's going on? What do I need to pay attention to? Because this is not just information. This is not just data at this point. This is truly information. Like, I take it, I use it, or I suffer as a result of ignoring it. Gratitude is one of those things. And I think that's one, as you said, in the Western culture, we really do ignore most of the time. Whether it's because we have developed and cultivated a sense of entitlement or a sense of specialness, a sense of what we deserve, a sense of what we don't deserve. I don't deserve to be in pain. I don't deserve to have want. I don't deserve to suffer. We can't sit there with Paul in prison and say, I've learned the secret of contentedness in all things. We can't be with Paul and say, give thanks at all times.
Mm.
Don't be anxious for anything, but in all things through prayer and thanksgiving, make your requests known to God. It's not a good place to be. You know, that it shows our lack of trust. It shows that we don't trust that God really is good, that he's for us. And if that's really what we believe, we're going to pull away from him.
I think
not good.
I think on the other side of the trust is the control. And so
talk about that.
We often want to control things, and if I'm saying thank you, then I have to realize I'm not I have to get to that space of
going deep now,
recognizing, you know what, God, you gave me my breath. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the water that you gave me, the food that you gave me. Yeah, I paid for it, but you provided the fish or whatever it is that I ate. I could have been any other place in the world, and that wouldn't have been the same. And yet you have me here in this space, in this time, to experience and to live this day. Being able to sit with those that are sick or hurting and love them where they are and recognize that their value does not and is not defined by their possessions, just as mine isn't. Because if we're both in the hospital, there's not much difference. We both are wearing nightgowns that are way too short. I'm just being real.
I hope you go to bed tonight, listener, with that imagery in your head.
I mean, it's real. I just left the hospital from visiting a lady.
Yeah.
That attends the church, and part of our conversation was just about, how do you handle your last days? And I tried to encourage her to handle them with both grace as well as thankfulness. And that thankfulness is something that the grandkids should get, because as they play with grandma over the next few weeks to months, however long God gives her, she should be able to help them see the thankfulness for being able to spend the time with them, as well as the thankfulness of just being in a good relationship with God, and then the thankfulness of being a believer who's redeemed by the blood of Christ. And that doesn't require a lot of teaching, but it does require some words. And so as she's struggling with breathing, and I was trying to encourage her to be intentional with the words that she uses, to think it through what she wants to say before she says it. And out of that thankfulness, relax and laugh and know it's okay. Like, we don't have to be fearful. You can be thankful. And often when we get into that space of trying to control, it's because it's fear, or as you stated, we don't trust. And so thankfulness helps to reset our hearts if we're doing it in a prayerful state. If we take the time to not just do it in relationship to ourselves, being thankful for the big things as well as the small things, right? The country, the church you attend, just really taking time to be thankful for many things, not getting stuck, but creating a list where you can look at it and say, God has been good. He is good, but he has been good. And this is something that I can delight in as I end the day or start the day, wherever you do it. And then doing it on a regular basis. It doesn't take long, 10, 15 minutes, just if that, and get started building it into your daily rhythm of life.
If you have an Apple device, the new iOS has a journal built in. In fact, you can set a reminder through the journal to tell you, hey, it's 5:30. Open up your journal and jot down something that you're grateful for today. It's really easy, but it's kind of like collecting pictures. You know, we may not go back to the pictures that we have. I don't know how many thousands of pictures, tens of thousands of pictures I have, right? Because I live in digital age. I do know this. I've taken a lot more pictures than my wife has. And because I have the pictures and because I can access them anytime I want, my only tentativeness, my only trepidation is what happens if I lose the photos? What happens if something goes wrong on the electronics side and I lose them? So I have, I've taken precautions and backups and blah, blah, blah. But there's a big difference between me having those photos, which I don't look at, but can, versus me not having these photos and not being able to look at them. The fact that I have them is, as often as I think about it, a pleasant reminder of all of the wealth that I can quickly go back to, open up, and immediately start re-enjoying, even if from a distance of time. How much sadder is it, though, when I don't have those pictures to go back to? And when I do think about these things, I have to remember each one of them, or try to hold on to each one and try to remember it and try to picture it in my mind. And maybe that's good. But if I don't have them at all, there's something missing by comparison. And that's what we're talking about here. If you don't write down in a journal all these things that you're grateful for, that you, when you're legitimately looking at it and saying, no, these are things I really do have to be grateful for. These are things that are good. These are things that have grown me. They've stretched me. I've learned from them. They've changed me. They've made me better. If you have them written down someplace, you can go back and look at it and be reminded. If you don't have them written down someplace, the vast majority of them will be forgotten. They'll simply flow away into the ether. And it may become much harder for you to walk around with a balanced view of your life, saying, on the whole, I have a lot to be grateful for. I can easily say, on the whole, I've lived a really full life and I have a lot of things that I've enjoyed. How do I know? Because I've got tens of thousands of photos I can pull up anytime and see all of those good things I've experienced. I don't have to try to hold on to them. They're right there. So I would encourage you to take Pastor Joseph's, Pastor Panda's advice and start notating these things for yourself. Kind of like Christmas cards that you can go back to and remember all the people that you have interacted with through so many years.
Pastor Panda in my green sweater.
Mm-hmm. It's lovely. It really is lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, Pastor Panda, do you have anything else you want to add to this before we shut her down?
Share what you're thankful for. Uh-oh, I froze. Share what you're thankful for to others, and incorporate it in their prayer as well. Don't lose it. If you have time, not just the list, but write the story. I mean, if you don't have the time, I get putting down a highlight or a note, but it's better to have a story, a paragraph or three.
For sure.
To add some clarity to it, as well as allow for others to engage with it. So yeah, that'd be my encouragement. Is
cool.
To be thankful. Woohoo!
Well, Pastor Panda opened us, so I will close us out. Thank you guys for coming along with us today. I hope to be able to join you in my own avatar sometime soon. Lord willing, that will happen, and it's something that we can all look forward to and be grateful for. Until that time, if you have anything you want to add or ask us, please feel free to reach out to us at anchoredanddevoted@gmail.com. You can reach us there anytime, day or night, I promise. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.